Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online, Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we fought and defeated the Light Warden of Emet-Selch. And then, afterwards, as it turns out that those who defeat the previous King of the Pixies must then become the new King, using the dress, scepter, crown, and shoes that we gathered. But since it wasn't a good idea for our character to become the new King of the Fey Folk, because we would then essentially become a pixie in that case, which would not be good, Eorzea decided to take that instead. So Eorzea has become the new Titania of Ilmeg. And after that, was able to rally the rest of the Fey folk to assist in repelling the Yulmoran forces that were entering Ilmeg to try to disrupt our efforts there. So, combination of turning them into leafmen, drowning them in magical puddles of water, and other things, they were able to convince Ranjit and the other Yulmorans that it was a sensible idea to retreat for the time being. So, with that taken care of, we are now back in the Crystarium and ready to move on to the next thing. I guess we're going to be hunting down another Light Warden. So, let's go ahead and find Alice and have a chat with her. And see what we're going to get up to next. So there's Minfilia, Thancred, Alice, Eorzea, and Alphino. So, let's see here.
All seems well at the Crystarium.
Yes. Yulmor was plainly more concerned with finding us. How flattering.
You certainly took your time. I had half resolved to complete the task myself.
And you are...
Were one to study the annals of Garlean history, one would find yonder visage on many a page. Though by rights its youth should long since have faded.
Well, well, we have a historian in our midst. That spares me a lengthy explanation. I am Solus Sos Galvus, founding father of the Garlean Empire, and under various guises, the architect of myriad other imperially inclined nations. As for my true identity, I am Emet-Selch, Ascian.
Gaius spoke of you. A native of the Source.
Equal in rank to La Habrea. And you came all this way just to introduce yourself to us?
Behold the sky, restored to its former glory. Have you ever seen a more affecting spectacle? Oh, it is truly, deeply infuriating. Do you have any idea how much you have delayed the rejoining? Following the flood, the First had been listing ever further towards the light, towards stasis. The end was in sight.
Enter man and his indomitable spirit. He would haul the world back from the brink. And adding his lumpen weight to the power of growth, he duly tipped the scales, if only by a fraction. Yet a fraction was enough to spoil the perfect imbalance needed to bring about a rejoining. Had mankind continued to live in idleness under Vorthri's rule, all the conditions would have been met. But you had to come and ruin it all. Thanks to your meddling, light supremacy is in doubt, and our painstakingly laid plans are in tatters!
Well, I should begin by thanking you for confirming Urianger's theories on the inner workings of the Calamity. He will be most pleased. As for what happens next, might I suggest you admit defeat and walk away?
Happy to let me go, are you? Because the murderous glint in your eye suggests otherwise. Indeed, it is enough to make me think better of confronting you alone. Look, it did cross my mind to simply side with Vorthri and kill you all. But that's no different from what Lahabrea did. And we all know how well that ended for him. And so, while it is liable to be troublesome, I have settled upon a different approach. Cooperation. I will not raise a hand to hinder your hunt for the Light Wardens. If you desire it, I will even lend you my knowledge and strength.
Since time immemorial, you and yours have labored to rejoin the 13 shards, at the cost of countless lives. Do you expect us to believe that your objective has suddenly changed?
Nay, our objective is the same as it ever was. Though I dare say, you do not know our motive. A war waged without knowledge of the enemy is no war. It is mere bloodletting. Just once, might we not seek to find common ground? For good or ill, I am immortal. Provided I have the inclination, I can always begin anew, scheme and conspire to my heart's content. But this time I thought that I might instead try to see eye to eye, to understand what drives the hero of the source, to determine if our goals are truly incompatible. So come, shed your preconceptions. See beyond the unscrupulous villains you take us for. When all is said and done, we may find ourselves pleasantly surprised. The proud discoverers of a path of cooperation rather than opposition. Think of it.
Thou hast delivered thy proposal, and we would not dismiss it outright. If I may offer thee counsel, however, to make thy case via an illusion reflecteth poorly upon thy sincerity.
My apologies. You will forgive me if I'm not entirely at ease in the presence of a famed Ascian Slayer. I felt it only prudent to take precautions. Nonetheless, your counsel is duly noted. I take my leave, friends. Rest assured, we shall meet again soon.
Alright, so Emet-Selch has decided to show up. The founder of the Garlean Empire, and who knows how many others. So, he's proposing a path of cooperation. We'll see where that goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to Eorzea again, and I guess see what everybody's thoughts are. Cooperation? He can't be serious, can he? Well, I've certainly been given much to ponder, but first things first, we should report to the Exarch. You can run along, Oyame. We're perfectly capable of handling this little task. In light of your recent exertions, I'd say you've earned a rest. Go on, take yourself off to bed. We'll see you later, refreshed and ready for more. Alright, so yes, we need to go off and have a rest. And, then I guess we'll meet up with the Exarch afterwards and see what the plan is going to be moving forward. The arrival of Emet-Selch is a complication, but doesn't change anything. At least, not yet. Anyway. Alright, there we go. Welcome back, miss. We've been expecting you. You will find refreshments laid out in your quarters. We hope they are to your liking. Will you be retiring now? Indeed. Very good, miss. I bid you a pleasant evening. Handwritten missive. I hope the past few days have not been overly taxing. Pray take your rest and recover.
From the Exarch, is it? With that mirror of his, he can watch your every move, you know. He'll probably think you're talking to yourself. Still, he's keeping you well fed. Judging by his people's faith in him, he seems to be a decent sort. But so much about him remains shrouded in mystery. Like, what was he doing back in my day? There was no such person when I was around. A lot's happened since the Flood, though. Since I was set adrift. I know little more than you do of this city's history and the Exarch's past. Not that it matters. It's Emet-Selch we should be concerned about. When our world was about to be consumed by light, the Ascian in white appeared before us. He said that the only way for us to live on was to bring about the rejoining. Desperate as we were, we heeded his words, not realizing that the Flood was of the Ascian's own making. They cannot be trusted. None of them. But Emet-Selch had one thing right. One should not fight blindly. That's what we did. And it cost us everything we held dear.
Let's see. Tell me about Seto.
What? What about Seto? What is there to say? All right. He's done some growing. When we were traveling together, he was nowhere near as big, and he obviously couldn't speak. I had no idea how much that medallion meant to him. What about you, anyway? You must have a friend like Seto. Chocobo, perhaps? Come on, you tell me something for a change.
counted down the entire basket, I see. All right. The manager of suites. Good morning to you, miss. I hope you are well rested. The Exarch and your companions are presently gathered in the Ocular. He asks that you convene with him at your earliest convenience. All right, then. We'll proceed to the Ocular. Let's see. Shard. Let's go ahead and teleport over to the Docile Gate. And then we'll talk to the Gatekeep. And enter the Ocular, yes.
Ah, there you are. You're just in time to welcome our guest.
Please. Did I not explicitly tell you that we would be meeting again soon? Lest you forget, I made you a promise. I have no intention of meddling with your mission. I come only to observe.
Your Exarch friend in particular has piqued my curiosity.
Summoning you all like that. Most impressive.
You honestly expect us to believe you've come only to observe? Or that you might deign to lift a finger to aid our cause if called upon? Even if there were a sliver of truth in your words, I would never accept your help. Not in my darkest hour. Not after all the suffering your kind has wrought.
So petty. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. Wage your war against the Sin Eaters, put each and every Light Warden to the sword, prove yourselves heroes, brave and true, and I will be glad to embrace you as allies. Allies worthy of bearing the burden of truth. Surely such a partnership would be preferable to yet another round of fisticuffs. And thus did the olive branch wither and die. Pity. Well, let no man say I did not try, futile as it was. Though I suspect you will seek me out when you grow tired of making the same mistakes. Difficult decisions lie ahead of you. Decisions best made with the benefit of knowledge to which only the Eternal are privy. For now, I shall resume my shadowy vigil. Whatever you choose to do, make sure it's worth watching, would you?
What was that all about?
A vain attempt to make us doubt our chosen course, most like. As if we'd believe a word that passed his lips. Unless you think there is some truth in what he says.
A colonel, perhaps. The best lies have a kernel of truth.
If he simply meant to lead us astray, he could have done so without revealing himself. At least, not in the manner he did. It goes without saying that an alliance with the Ascians is out of the question. But since we have no way of knowing where they might be hiding, it seems only logical to press on with our mission, even if our enemy seems content for it to succeed.
Then let us discuss the Sin Eaters. I would begin by thanking you all for your efforts thus far. In striking down the Light Wardens of Lakeland and Ilmeg, you have accomplished more in your short time here than all of our forces managed in the last century.
That may be, but the Wardens of Calusia, Amareng, and Raktika remain.
Indeed, and their precise whereabouts are as yet unknown. Which is why I propose we divide our forces and conduct a systematic survey of each region. Once we have found our quarry, we may then determine how best to proceed.
I'll take Amareng in that case. I know the lie of the land well enough.
If there are no objections, I will make for Calusia. I have connections there both in and around Yulmore that may prove useful.
Then I would ask that you journey to Raktika. There you will find Y'shtola. With her assistance, I doubt the Warden will evade your grasp for long.
Is Y'shtola the conjurer you and Urianger used to talk about?
That's right. Though we haven't spoken much since she left for the forest.
I fear I may be to blame for that. I had every intention of relaying the news of your arrival, but she is disinclined to speak with me. You have visited her, have you not? Might I trouble you to...
'Twould be no trouble.
My thanks. While you are all out in the field, I shall be here attending to business. I had somewhat fancifully contemplated joining the search myself, but other matters demand my attention.
What's that?
A missive from Lord Vorthry. He invites me to join him in Yulmore to discuss the recent conflict at Lida Luran.
And? Did he even bother to offer any bait? It's obviously a trap.
I should be surprised if it were not. Nevertheless, I must seize this opportunity to speak with him, even if only a few words are exchanged. Though my power will be much diminished so far from the tower, it is a risk I am willing to take. Master Alphino, might I impose upon you to accompany me to Yulmore prior to beginning your reconnaissance?
Of course.
Then let us make ready. Safe travels to you all.
Alright then, so we are off to Raktika, the forest. The equivalent of the 12's Wood from the source. Alright, before you leave, I would make a request of you. There is a church, or rather, the ruins of a church, at Fort Job. Might I ask that you go there before seeking out Y'shtola? It was a place where people once gathered to worship the light. Alas, it has long since fallen into disuse. Yet within that hall there remains a tablet whose writings I believe may prove of use to Y'shtola. At the very least, such a relic would make a suitable gift for your reunion. A most considerate proposal. Very well. Ere we depart to Raktika, we shall journey unto Fort Job, that we might secure this relic. Alright then. Off to Fort Job, which I've already attuned to the aetheryte there. No, we don't need to use a ticket. Which I've used a couple for some business I've taken care of off screen. Some profitable business, as you can tell by my guild count. Alright. Urianger, Here amidst these ruins, we will find the Church of the First Light, and within that hallowed hall, the tablet we seek. Time is of the essence, my friend. Let us be quick. Alright, so we get a blue spirit headgear call for we don't need it. Because I already have it. Alright. At the height of Lakeland's prosperity, these sites served not as man's final bastion, but as testament to his ingenuity and architectural prowess. The Church of the First Light was responsible for many such marvels, building majestic chapels in every corner of the realm. Alas, the flood with its inexorable tides would drown nigh every one, and did all but put an end to the religion as a whole. For the creatures which then did rise from the fulgent deluge were seen as agents of divine punishment, sent to devour sin and sinner both, whence came the name of Sin Eater. The people were lost, seemingly forsaken by their god. Yet, where there is light, there hath ever been shade, and 'twas in the dark they sought solace. The most devout of these worshippers of shadow then did migrate to the Raktika Greatwood, but that is a tale for another time. For now, let us find what remaineth of the chapel here. Alright. And there's a bunch of side quests. That brings me to wonder, did I finish Lakeland? Yes, Lakeland is complete. So I can fly here. If I were so inclined. Well, there's Eorzea. And there's our destination. Alright, this is indeed the church we seek. It's surprisingly intact. What little is left of the churches I have seen until now has always borne the scars of decades of disuse. Its subterranean construction hath done much to protect the hall from the ravages of time, yet the reason for its remarkable preservation may be deduced from its decoration. As faith in the light did wane, so rose reverence for the dark, and its followers did want for places of worship. To be plain, the standards which do adorn these walls belong not to those who built them, but to worshippers of the dark, the Knights Blessed, who subsequently migrated to Raktika, yes? Indeed, 'twas beneath the shaded boughs of the Raktika Greatwood that they finally found sanctuary. Oft and many times did Yulmore make spurious overtures of friendship unto them, but they are no fools. The Exarch knoweth full well that Y'shtola in her seclusion doth labor to learn all she may of the blessed and their past. 'Tis why he sent us here, I now see. The tablet of which he spoke no doubt provideth a glimpse into the history that she so yearneth to comprehend. Well then, we'd better hurry and find it. Alright, another destination. Search your surroundings for the tablet. You may move the camera. Okay, so we gotta look around and see if we can find the tablet. And I already know where it is. It is right there. You have located the time-worn tablet. Excellent. Within the altar, thou sayest? Alright. Let's talk to Eorzea. Alright, naught escapeth thine eye, 'twould seem. This is indeed the tablet we seek. Curious, these engravings predate the Knights Blessed. If I am not mistaken, they are writ in the script of the ancient empire of Ronka, whose capital once stood in the midst of what is now Rak'tika. 'Twill be no small matter to decipher them. A fine gift for our seeker of truth. 'Tis plain the Exarch understandeth Y'shtola only too well. But come, let us quit this place and make ready for our journey into the woods. Alright. Ere we depart, there is a custom of the Knights Blessed which I feel compelled to elucidate. As one might expect, they deem light to be abhorrent, and everything it touches befouled. Thus do they take the utmost pains to protect all they can from its taint, including their very names. To speak plain, it is the belief of the blessed that one's own name must ne'er be uttered in the light of the everlasting day, yet this commandment precludeth not the use of another's. Thus do parents protect their children, and in rare cases masters their disciples. So it is that Y'shtola hath taken the name of Master Matoya. Lest we offend them, I bid you speak not her true name in the Blessed's presence. With that in mind, let us speak with the guard who keepeth vigil at the great wood's border. Alright, well, what I'm probably going to go ahead and do is end here. And then when we come back next episode, we're going to go ahead and head on into Rak'tika and explore that new area. And hopefully meet Y'shtola and see what she's been up to. Alright, so we'll go ahead and stop here for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.